Alright, greetings everyone. So as of today, this video is going to cover basics of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is a casual MMO, as opposed to like to say World of Warcraft in the earlier versions. Items range from the sky. It's not too hard to get really anything. All the exotics are actually kept in a vault. So even if you dig them, you can still go back and purchase them. And it's generally pretty user friendly. There's really not much grinding. Okay, so the first misconception everyone runs into is power rating. Everybody always gets this wrong. All their assumptions of actually how it works. All power rating does in Destiny 2 is you need it for a certain level. If you're under the level of a quest, it means you'll be taking more damage, dealing less damage. Once you're over that, you scale to whatever. So as long as you have the necessary power rating, it doesn't matter if you're 50 or 100 points above it, you get no advantage whatsoever because you scale back. Same for PvE or PvE. Okay, so what this really means is if you have an exotic armor that you really like, or I'll say a weapon you've had for a while and you really like, don't want to get rid of, you don't actually have to replace it. Having a weapon with a higher power rating doesn't give it a bigger boost to anything, because you scale automatically to your content. It only matters to your overall rating. Okay, and put this character up in here and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so power rating, the overall power rating is located in this number right here. Alright, so if I change this weapon to something that had a power rating of 10, it would lower my overall power rating, but if it was still above the content that I was doing, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't affect the damage of my weapon or anything else. So use what you like, and don't be fooled by getting rid of like a weapon that you really love for one that you don't really like, just because it has a high power rating, because essentially it's worthless until you actually require a higher one that you have. Public events. While leveling, these are a great source of items, rep tokens to hand in, XP, and you can also unlock the heroic. Each event can also be made into heroic, where it gives you basically more of everything. The best way of weaving this in is simply to open up your map by holding tab, and then you just click and just see what's available and try and do your quest in the same area as the public events. Alright, how do you gear up? Well, gearing up in this game is a bit different to standard MMOs where you rely on random chance drops. You still have random chance drops, but how you actually gear up to get higher levels is simply by having the highest item levels either equipped or in these extra slots here. And as long as you have them on your character, again, you don't need them equipped. So if this is level 10, I still had a level 283 item here, my item drops are still going to be above my overall item rating. Right, and that's how you gear up. You just keep getting more and more loot, and it'll keep dropping it a couple of levels higher than what your total rating is. And your total rating, as I said before, it comprises of the highest item levels that you have. So this is a higher item level than this, but I don't need to have this equipped to have the highest drops. Right, I just need it here. You put it in your vault, and then it's a different story. So the easiest way to gear up really is just to go to a planet, grind as many tokens, do as many public events, just keep handing stuff in, rep tokens in, and getting as much gear as possible, and your power level will rise. Milestone quests are also a great source to gear up because it'll reward you with powerful gear, which is higher level than what you currently get from random drops. Okay, maps and fast travel. This one's pretty simple. You simply go to your map here, and then there'll be different locations here that you're allowed to fast travel to. Alright, so each one of these little things here, this is somewhere you can fast travel, which means you just go to a short loading screen. Alright, to move around the map. So if I was up here, I want to do the public event down here, I can fast travel here, and then I can then travel to this spot here to do the quest. And then maybe even do this public event as well. You can also select events or quests, and then when you return to your game, you'll have a white marker which will show you the direction you want to go to, or to this quest specifically. If I hold down E, I can also see my milestone quests and see what the rewards are. You can see the little quest there. Something else worth touching on too is if you get 2 weapons, you can actually hold down the Q key to give you a comparison. So make this easier. Okay, so I've got one kinetic weapon here, another kinetic weapon there. Which one's better? Well, by holding Q, I can see the difference in the level, the difference in impact, rate of fire, magazine size, the range, the handling, reload speed. Shows you a nice little rundown of that, give you a quick comparison. You really only want to do that between the same weapon types. Comparing an auto rifle to a scout rifle or a submachine gun to an auto rifle will give you very confusing and misleading information. Okay, weapon stats. How do they work and what do they mean? Alright, now that I showed you to compare them, what does any of that mean? Okay, impact is how much damage it's going to do per bullet. Kinetic weapons themselves actually have a higher precision damage, which is headshots. So any weapon you have here will do higher headshot damage than an equivalent weapon in your energy weapon slot. Okay, the 3 slots you have here. This is your power. This requires power ammunition, which is like purple things on the ground that drop for you. Right, it can only be used if you have power ammunition. This here is energy slots. This is the weapon you use to take down enemy shields really fast. Not much real difference in between them. I find that the energy weapons have better hip fire than the kinetic counterparts. Well, that could be the observation. And kinetics really doesn't give you any bonus. It's just easy to get ammunition for. Okay, so the individual stats. Right, so as I was saying before, impact gives you how much damage per bullet. The range affects the bullet or damage drop off. So if it had very low range, it means my weapon damage would start dropping off really, really quickly. Things like pistols usually have really bad range. Right, so they have very quick damage drop off from that. Stability, that's your recoil. So as you're shooting the weapon, it'll jump off left and right. Up and down, so you'll be fighting the weapon to keep it on the target if it has a very low stability. There's something with a really high stability, like this weapon here. It's much easier to keep on target. Weapon handling is how fast you can bring the weapon up when you've changed to it. how fast you can bring the weapon up when you stop running. Just sort of like the awkwardness of the weapon. Reload speed, well, that's pretty straightforward. It's just how quickly you can reload the weapon, which is a big factor in PvE, because that will greatly affect your DPS. Things like rounds per minute and impact is how you work out your actual DPS of the weapon. And then you have the magazine size, which is how much damage you can do per clip. There are other perks of the weapon, which I'm not going to go into since this is only a basic rundown of everything. Another thing I want to reiterate, the power level on the weapons. Don't be fooled in thinking a higher power rating equals more damage. Level 10, power level auto rifle. With these stats, is going to do exactly the same amount of damage as long as your overall power rating is equal or higher than what you need it to be for the encounter. Okay, resistance, resilience, mobility, and recovery. All these stats are pretty good to get to 5. After that, you'll see a significant downplay of their effect. Basically, resilience gives you a few more HP. It's not huge, but it can help. Recovery, always worth having at least 5 of this, because your life will just come back really, really quickly. As you notice here, I've got 6 and 6. It gives you a nice balance. 2 on mobility. Okay, I don't have to have 2, but especially for a Titan, Hunters generally favour mobility, Warlocks favour recovery, Titans favour resilience. As a general thing, but you can really mix and match to whatever you want. There are 3 different types of armour. Alright, this one here is restorative Titan armour. And I can switch between these resilience or health recovery, but you can get mobility, the Titan armour, as well as resilience. So every class has access to all 3. You just find what you want and keep it. And sort of build around that. Something else I did leave out in weapons. You can actually configure each weapon. Legendaries will have the most options, and usually have better options, but these ones here can customize the weapon a little bit more. In case you're wondering why I have a blue submachine gun, I'm not using it over the legendaries, simply because this one is a replica of the Antidope. It's the best PvP submachine gun, simply because of the ridiculous amount of range it has, and the fact that it has kill clip. Not the best for PvE because it only has 27 bullets, but which brings me to the next point is just because it's rare doesn't mean it's going to be worse than legendary. This one here it's really widely accepted. This is the same as Antidope, which is a legendary machine gun. Give or take a few stats. And I'd run that over pretty much anything else in PvP. I wanted a close range weapon. Well, close to mid-range weapon. Alright, so don't go throwing out blues just because they're blues. Give them a go, see how they work. And just make your own mind up. Okay, and lastly, going to cover the recover the energy, kinetic, and power weapons. Energy weapons are specifically designed to take down shields really fast. They're not useless outside of that role. They're still the same as kinetic, but they have that other ability. There are 3 different types of energy. There's arc, and there's also void. Now, if the enemy is using blue shields, using arc energy will create a stun when you take down the shield, as well as do some damage. So it's more effective to use the blue or arc type to do something with blue shields. More effective to use solar against red, and void against purple. but you still kill the shields just as fast. You just won't get the added bonus. Power weapons are usually super powerful, which is why you only have very limited ammunition reserve. They come in all sorts of different types. Swords, sniper rifles. I found the rocket launchers is probably the best for PvE. Huge amounts of damage in a short amount of time. Okay, tips. Okay, the best thing I can put in down for tips is keep your legendaries or any other good gun. You might have a very low gun, you have to ditch it for whatever reason. Put it in your vault. Alright, in there, it'll stay safe. You can pull it back out later. Or you can just infuse it. Find a weapon like this. Right, I can come down and infuse it. Now, what's infusing mean? Infusing is sacrificing one item with a higher power rating and giving that power rating to the item you want to buff up. Right, it won't affect the actual stats like impact, range, or stability. It just affects the power rating of the weapon. So I can bring up a level 10 legendary to a level 293 if that's the level of the item I'm bringing up. So this is if I have a level 10 Nameless Midnight, the weapon I've got shown, and infused this weapon here from a 290, it would buff it up to a 290. You do destroy the weapon that you infuse from. Again, you're destroying something you don't want to buff up something you do want. You can do the same thing with armor, particularly exotic armor. Okay, so we've got other things to look at here. Alright, so you've got stats of the weapon, but you've also got mods that you can use in armor. So you can see here I've got quite a few options that actually can apply to our helmet. So I can add resilience, I can increase handling for an energy weapon, grenade recharge class. There's all different ones for each piece of armor. So if you have a particularly good weapon but it has really bad stability, you can offset it by increasing stability for energy or kinetic weapon, depending on which weapon it is, in your armor sets. So this one here reduces the recoil of kinetic weapons. Right, so it makes it weapon more manageable, easier to stay on the target, which means more DPS. PvP is another interesting one. If you are new to the game, you will have multi-sign quests to do, and PvP, it won't require you to win them, just simply participate in there and try and the best you can. Do highly recommend having 5 resilience, 5 recovery, depending on your class. It's a good stat for Titan. And try and have a close range weapon, such as a submachine gun, a hand cannon, and then either an auto rifle or a scout rifle in your range slot. Swords are currently the best PvP weapon, because it puts you in third person, which makes them very easy to use, and they auto aim to about 10 meters out, and they one shot. So it is the most popular one. The next one will probably be a rocket launcher, also a one shot. Alright, well that wraps up the basic overview I've done of Destiny 2. If you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Disagree with something I said? Also, leave it down in the comments, I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.